This is a special urgent report. If you have a child that's headed to college or is already in college and you're thinking about taking on student loan debt, make sure you pause the screen and look at the chart that I'm going to provide to you so you understand what the new caps and the new limits are starting July 1st. Because of the One Big Beautiful Act, all of these caps and limits have been changed dramatically, and if you don't follow and understand what those are, you could be going into a big, massive financial trap.
Let's dive deeply into what's going to change on July 1st, 2026, as it relates to the Trump's One Big Beautiful Act, because there have been significant changes to what you can borrow going forward. Before July 1st, parent loans or Parent PLUS loans used to be able to borrow as much as you needed in order to fill the gap for your student. That was the old rule. But now the new rule is there is a $20,000 per year per dependent student with a hard lifetime cap of $65,000 per student. This matters because families can no longer assume that Parent PLUS loan will fill a large college gap. So make sure that you build a true financial safety list before committing. Now, the undergraduate student loan has largely been unchanged, so don't need to think too much about that one. The second big change is the Graduate PLUS plan is eliminated. Now, again, before July 1st, the Graduate PLUS plan says that you can borrow as much as you need up to the cost of attendance, which gave you basically unlimited extra borrowing. And that actually left a lot of the graduate students stuck with large bills that they had accumulated over the years. Now, on the July 1st timeline, graduate students, which are things like MBAs or Master of Arts, there's a maximum of $20,500 per year with a $100,000 aggregate total. Professional students, for example, going into law, becoming an MD, it's a $50,000 per year maximum with a $200,000 aggregate. Now, why does it matter? It matters specifically if you're going into medical, law, and other graduate pathways. You may need to look at new funding strategies. Now, here's a big one, the part-time penalty. The old rule is you can continue your full loan eligibility if you're a half-time enrollment. The new rule, however, is that loan amounts are prorated based on the intensity of classes that you take. So, for example, if you're taking a 75% course load, you only get 75% of that loan amount. So dropping classes can immediately reduce aid for that term. So make sure you don't casually cut out credits without checking your financial impact. And here's a big one, repayment options. In the old plan, before July 1st, there were lots of confusing plans. And it was basically a standard 10-year plan. The new plan, starting July 1st, is based on a 1 to 10% repayment plan, depending on your ability to repay. This is a major benefit for unpaid interest is waived after an on-time payment. However, the pros are lower payments, interest help, match toward principal. The trade-off is if they forgive part of it, the forgiveness could take up to 30 years. So make sure you understand the new repayment plan after July 1st. Now, let's look at legacy grandfathered borrowers. If you had a loan before July 1st, you may keep your older plan for a limited transition period. Make sure you follow what that transition period looks like. And it applies to students who stay in the school, continuously enrolled at the same program at the same school. Even changing schools or changing degree programs can trigger the new rules. So make sure you look at the rules and make sure you understand what it means to you as you transition out. And talk to your financial aid office. Make sure that that is important. Now, finally, what families should do right now. Run the 4-year costs before your student commits to a particular school. Remember we talked about this before, separate your grants and scholarships from your loans. Ask the aid office what happens if you drop out or drop credits. that could affect your loans and your payment schedule. Be careful about relying on private loans to replace lost federal flexibility. For grad school plans, estimate the full borrowing path before enrollment. And the bottom line question, can this plan work without dangerous debt? The July 1st rules do not end college opportunity, but they do end the old assumption that federal borrowing can cover almost any college price tag. This is college without a panic. So make sure you understand the new rules tomorrow, July 1st.
These changes to the student loan program are massive, but if you have a plan, you don't have to panic. If that screenshot has been helpful to you, make sure to keep it by your side as you're planning for college, and make sure you understand all of the rules. Now, if you want more strategies on how to save money and how to get free money, hit like, subscribe, and join the community.